What would you do if you seemingly lost hours in the rural wilderness? Have you ever been so afraid that it tapped into your primal instincts? Would you take the opportunity to go on a trip amongst the cosmos with aliens? Today, we test the believability of the North Canal Road alien abduction.
Welcome to Believing the Bizarre,
Where we dive into the unknown and the unusual.
and tell you whether or not we find it believable.
That's right. Happy Tuesday. We are back with an alien episode.
We are back in space, Men in Black.
We are heading up north to Canada
Canada.
for this episode.
Wow.
But before we do, want to say thank you to our newest patrons. That includes Kaline Angel, and Persephone. Thank you so much for joining our Patreon, supporting the podcast. There's so much bonus content out there, ad-free episodes, and new content every single Wednesday and Friday.
Patreon is bumping. That's true.
It's
true facts.
Bumping over there. I'm excited, though, to get to this story. We got aliens. This is from 80 years ago.
Whoa.
No, sorry. No, that's a lie. This is from the 1980s. So it's like 40 years ago.
That's still a long time.
So sources for today's episode include UFO BC, Above the Norm News, latest UFO sightings, Infinity Explorers, Mysterious Universe, and UFO Site.
Ooh, some good sources there.
So, a fun fact, this, as we were talking about Patreon, this particular episode was turned into a quiz on our Patreon. I was quizzing Charlie on it.
I will say this is an iconic quiz. It's worth checking out.
I would also say that I don't think Charlie's heard of this alien abduction before.
I don't know. Maybe this is one of my favorite cases. Maybe.
I think it could be. I think it could become one of your favorite cases.
I can't believe I haven't really heard of this before, though.
Yeah, I know. When I was getting into it, I'm like, I feel like this one should be.
Do they hide it in like Canada? Is Canada gatekeeping this?
I think so. I mean, it's been like 3
This
years.
and their maple fucking syrup?
I think we did Charlie Red Star 3 years ago.
I thought it was Montana.
No, Charlie Red Star was Canada.
Was it?
Yeah.
God damn
We did
Canadians.
the lights, the Helen lights.
Yeah.
That was Montana.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm going to, and as an ode to Charlie, I'm going to start in the year 2000 and then go backwards to the
Nice.
80s. I know that lack of chronological storytelling, you'll appreciate it.
It hits me in a good spot.
So Martin Jasek, it's probably not Jasek, but that's Jasek.
Jessica?
He's a ufologist living in Yukon, Canada, and he got in aliens and all that stuff in the mid-90s, and then he teamed up with UFO BC to become their Yukon representative in 97. And in 2000, which we will come full circle back to this moment, but in 2000, Martin was giving a lecture in Alberta, Canada, and when he was done speaking, he was approached by a man named Kevin who wants to keep his
Anonymity?
Yeah, he wants to be private. Just call him Kevin. But that's his name. It is Kevin.
This is very Canadian so far.
Hi there, who there?
Hi, I'm Kevin.
I think I saw an alien.
I'm speaking in Alberta here. And
Yeah, I think you did Australian for a second.
what?
You said good day, mate.
Good day.
I saw a UFO there. It was a bright light, and I didn't like it. So I want to talk to you about it there. So he claims he had a crazy encounter in the Yukon area in September of 1987. So Martin was like, all right, I'll listen to your story, and I'll help you piece things together. And so this is Kevin's story. Cut to Yukon, 1987, exterior.
Yeah.
Like a screenplay.
Martin was like, you're living the Vida Loca, buddy. This is crazy.
Tell me your story.
It was Ricky Martin.
Yeah, I see.
Um,
Because Ricky Martin in 2000, is that when that came out?
Martin.
It might have been.
I think it was around there.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Right. Does the Yukon not make you think of Yukon Cornelius?
Oh, 100% does.
Absolutely.
There's just nothing I can do about
like
it.
that's the way Kevin looks in my head. Is Yukon Cornelius?
Well, it's probably not that far off. Also makes me think of like University of Connecticut, Yukon.
Oh yeah.
But the way it's spelled, yes, you're right. So it's September 2nd, 1987. This is a great story, by the way. Not that like we haven't done it yet, and I don't want to tell you it's great before you hear it, but it's a really good narrative, this experience he had.
Ooh,
so I hope you
we
guys
like
enjoy
those.
it.
We like those.
Yeah. Oh, there's a good neck crack right there. So it's 1987, September in Yukon. Kevin, who considers himself a fairly seasoned outdoorsman, was prepping his motorcycle for what he anticipated would be a routine 3-day moose hunting expedition. My man brought a motorcycle. I hope he brought some rocket launchers because moose are huge. And he's just going to tie this moose to the back of the motorcycle, drag it along to tenderize it.
Is it legal to hunt moose? It must be.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, they're like, good luck.
Yeah.
Yeah, good luck.
One of you's going to die.
Yeah. Well, we don't know which. We'll find your body in 24 years because it's so rural out here.
I really can't believe, though, like, he didn't bring any. There must have been, like, a trailer or
Well, he
something.
was meeting friends, too.
Oh,
He was
okay.
meeting friends.
So they're going to split up the moose between motorcycles?
I want the antlers. So it was a gray day showing signs of rain, endless clouds kind of blanketing the wilderness. Really put your mindset. Think rural Canada.
I was thinking Cleveland.
Nope. Think rural Canada, hills, trees in every direction, no internet, not just because it's 87. Even there probably isn't internet there now.
No. Butcher Baker, Robert Hansen.
Yes. And his intention was to journey to a remote area near Sheldon Lake for this hunting expedition. His plan was pretty straightforward. He was going to stay at this private trailer that he rented in Dewhurst Creek, using it as a base camp for hunting, and he arranged for several friends to join him later for fishing on the open waters and more hunting. And North Canal Road, which is like a World War II construction stretching through like just really desolate terrain of Canada. And I think part of North, like maybe US, but it's known more so in Canada. And that's the route he's taken. So it's very rural, very remote. He's not going to run into other people. He really is like truly middle of nowhere, which is honestly, this is the type of setting I love for my, I'll call it horror fiction. Not that I'm saying this is fiction, but I mean, like if I'm going to watch a movie or read a book, I love when it's like wilderness, isolation, road trip.
Yeah.
Love that stuff.
You do it because you love the ritual.
I
That's
love
a
the
big one for
ritual.
you.
Yeah. It's got that kind of a vibe.
I don't think I like that much.
There's
It's
a lot
scary.
of early 2000s movies have that like road trip horror. So as Kevin has his bike in motion and he's departing from Ross River, which is where he started. It's not just river, that's like where he's from. He ran into rain. It started as a slight drizzle, but then it quickly escalated to this heavy downpour. And then the September temperature started plummeting, so it's getting chilly. So he's cold, he's wet, just brutal, feeling soaked. And by the time he reached Gravel Creek, his clothing was so saturated, his body temperature was dropping to uncomfortable levels. So thankfully, he remembers like, oh, I have a friend who has a trailer around here. I'm just going to use it.
Like, what's he going to do? Give him a call?
I don't know. This feels so 80s. Yeah, you can't text him and be like, hey, Brian, is it cool if I borrow your trailer? Like, I feel like you just go there, knock, open the door, and then you leave a note. And then in like 3 weeks, he's like, oh, it looks like Kevin was here.
Yeah. I feel like back then when you didn't have like a phone to like communicate this kind of stuff, that was probably a lot more chill.
Yeah, there is like a 80s charm about it too, where I feel like back then, or maybe not even like necessarily just back then, but like in Canada, rural.
Yeah.
Like more rural people where it's more just like, yeah, you can, stop in, come over.
There's not a gas station for 1,000 miles. So.
No, yeah. Also, I just want to throw this out there because I was trying to mentally like picture this like on Google Maps. And just for reference for anyone out there, to go from Ross River to the area of Sheldon Lake and then I think it was McPass, it was a 3-hour drive. It was about a 3-hour drive on his bike. That was kind of the plan here.
It's not awful.
And so the cabin or the trailer that his friend had was, quote, near Gravel Creek. Multiple sources said Gravel Creek. And I couldn't find that on Google Maps. And when I Googled it, it was like, there might be a place that some people call Gravel Creek. But so I couldn't confirm where on this trip Gravel Creek was.
That's not great when Google's like, I don't know.
I know, but I tried. But either way, apparently it exists. He was sick and tired of being soggy and gross. So he took a detour to stop at the trailer for the night. He went in, he built a warm fire in the trailer, chased away the dampness, get a little bit of food, cook some stuff, and then was heading straight to bed. And he settled in for the night, and the last thing he remembered was kind of the pitter-patter of rain on the trailer as he drifted off to sleep.
It's nice. It's like people pay for that kind of white noise,
Yeah, that's the episode. Hope you guys had a good time. It was really hard to come up with 10 questions for the quiz based on that. So the next day, Kevin wakes up early on September 3rd to find that the rain had stopped. as it does from time to time. The grass was still wet, the road was still slick from the previous night's rain, but overall the weather had significantly improved. And this gave Kevin hope that he was being set up for a great day of hunting. Yay, killing. He swiftly gathered his hunting equipment, secured it on his motorcycle, and continued along North Canal Road towards Sheldon Lake. And understanding that the road conditions were still pretty wet, he kept it to a pretty cautious speed. He wasn't going very fast.
He's only going 105.
No. One article I saw said he was going 15 miles per hour.
Jesus. That's barely enough to keep the damn thing up.
I think I just tip over and just army crawl the way there. That's okay, because he's also like, he's looking at like Yukon mountains. He's taking it all in. He's enjoying
very slowly.
He's very slow. Oh, that mountain's still there. it's been 45 minutes and I've gone half a mile. But it's pretty to see. I bet it would be beautiful.
Yeah, sure.
In all reality,
probably.
So as Kevin continued his steady progress down the road, this strange sensation began to wash over him. It started as this subtle feeling, but quickly intensified to what he would later describe as feeling, quote, inexplicably uneasy and anxious without any apparent cause.
That's my everyday, buddy.
He also noted that this wasn't normal alertness that he's experienced from hunting and developing, like being a little bit in tune with himself. Like, because in his mind, he has felt what it's been like to be alert and pick up like the stimuli or the sensation that there's an animal nearby that could be dangerous. So he's acknowledging that it's not that. Like, he knows what that feeling is like when there's something hazardous in the area where he sees an animal from a distance and knows that this could be a sticky situation. But this isn't that. This is a different type of intuition. I don't think I have this intuition. I haven't needed it, but I don't think I have it either. So it's just this internal warning system that's going on with him. So he's scanning his surroundings more carefully, looking at the tree line for any movement that might indicate the presence of bears or wolves or any other potential threat.
Yeah, good thing he's on something that moves fast.
Yeah, I know. Bear, he's gone. Exactly. But despite his careful observation of the area and both sides of the road, he was unable to detect any obvious movements or signs of danger that would explain this growing sense of unease. The forest appeared pretty calm, undisturbed, but this feeling kept intensifying. So trusting his instincts, he made the decision to actually pull over, dismount the bike, and kind of leave it leaning up against a tree or whatever is on the side and really like thoroughly assess his surroundings. And standing beside his motorcycle, he's looking around trying to find the reason for this anxiety. And he noticed something in the distance that drew his attention upward, and he turned his head to observe what initially appeared to be a low-flying aircraft or helicopter approaching. But as his eyes focused on this object, and he was trying to process what he was seeing, he realized that this was not a conventional aircraft. The object was moving with deliberate purpose approximately 40 yards above the ground, maintaining a steady altitude that you would assume you'd hear an engine. I mean, I live near an airport. You're pretty close. Well, you were close to one, especially in Garfield Heights.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you know that there's a distance where it's just like, you know?
Oh, yeah. They get loud and they get close.
Right. And this thing, there was no engine. There was no chopping sound or the blades or anything like that. It just was gliding through the air completely silent. So as he's studying the object more intently, the absence of wings, propellers, or a tail confirmed that, okay, this is not a conventional aircraft. What the hell am I looking at?
Yeah, he's like, how is that?
How is it?
How up? How fly up?
How is it doing this? So this cigar-shaped vessel, roughly the size of a school bus, with a distinctive dark green exterior interrupted by a gray stripe that ran around its middle, creating kind of like a top and a bottom. It's just like
for fashion,
just gliding. It's just up there. And along the sides of the craft, Kevin could make out what appeared to be several portholes, kind of like on a ship.
Okay.
And as he continued his observation, the object began to flicker. Like the whole, not lights, the whole object itself was flickering as if it was phasing in and out of visibility, which was a really disturbing optical effect where Kevin's like, wait, okay, is this real? Like, am I actually seeing this right now? Like, tangible things don't flicker. It's not a hologram. You know what I mean?
Right.
Well, unless it is a hologram. In his mind, he's
is.
like, what's going on here? And for a moment, the craft seemed to disappear entirely, vanishing from sight for several seconds before reappearing with what Kevin described as a more solid and definite form than it possessed moments before.
What? It came back stronger?
Well, imagine if you have like opacity at 90%,
Yeah.
and then you put it 0 and you come back to 100. Like it was clearer.
Oh.
It was like less well, more opaque. Yeah.
Less translucent.
Yeah. Not that you could see through it, but I think it just looked more defined.
Yeah.
Or it's like you're watching a video on 720
and then
it turns into 4K. It's
Yeah,
like, yo, I could see their sweat. He's stressed. Hope he makes his free throw. So he went from being completely mesmerized to remembering that he always carries a camera on him.
Okay.
So he reached into his pocket and he grabbed his camera, hoping to document. I don't know why it was this pocket. In my mind, it was, I'm wearing a pocket. But it was probably not that pocket. But
Probably
maybe.
a little camera bag, a little camera satchel.
Or
it's like one of those like little like
Nokia's a phone. Do they make cameras too? Hell yeah, they do.
Sony.
Or
like it was like with one of the like twist ones. It's like
Sony CV1.
Yeah, that's right. What's it called? Like the little cameras, disposable cameras.
Oh yeah. He's like, when I go to Walmart in 3 weeks, the one Walmart in Canada, I'm gonna get these printed out, and then 2 months later, I'm gonna find out what this was.
I loved a good disposable camera.
There are a lot of weddings I feel like used to have them, right? Where you put them on the table and let people. So anyway, he's like, I'm gonna take a picture of this. But then something very inexplicable happened. He ended up deciding against taking photos.
Pourquoi?
At the time, this rationale kind of swept over him. And he was like, no, I don't need to take a photo.
What?
But looking back, Kevin believes that wasn't his thought.
That's a good conclusion.
Yeah. Well, you're your own unreliable narrator.
Yeah.
Because he had like a strong urge to take the photo. And then it was like, bang, no, I guess I don't need to. And then when he remembers back to that moment, he's like, I don't think that was my thought. I think it was planted in me to not take the photo.
Yeah. But that's pretty wild too.
Yeah, it wasn't his rational thought. It was something else that was like, no, you don't need to take a photo here. Just you're good.
There is no man behind the curtain.
No, not here. This kind of goes back to, in my opinion, this like that the last alien abduction, extraterrestrial encounters. Like the girl was walking her driveway and she thought the thing was seeing him, or the one with the boy in the car.
Yeah. And
he thought the alien was looking at him. You kind of have to buy into that if you think that this thing acknowledges that he's there, and it's like, unless it's like it emanates.
It's also so rural too.
That's true. They're probably like, there's like coyote and bear, but that dude's looking at us. So let's. Yeah. But maybe it's just, it could be something that just radiates. Like if you think of like a signal. Like maybe there's just something from the ship that makes you not allowed to take a photo. That's somehow less scary than if it was honing in on him. But it probably was honing in on him.
It's not like the wolf said, let me get my disposable camera.
Yeah.
Come, gather wolf children, let us take pictures.
Oh, we don't have thumbs. Fuck.
Yeah.
So he just knows it's weird. Like he's outdoorsy. The whole decision not to take a photo, he knows is strange. But anyway, in that moment, he's like, there's no more distraction. I don't need to take a photo of this. But then he has this feeling of like, I don't think I should be seeing this. I don't think I should be looking at this. And acting on this intuitive warning, Kevin crouched as low as possible in the long grass roadside, hoping to conceal himself solid snake style from whatever intelligence is controlling this craft. Yeah, he pulled a box out.
Yeah.
From this hidden position, Kevin watched as this vessel just continued its movement across the landscape. And the craft was silent, just floating until it passed behind a nearby hill, disappearing from the view and leaving Kevin with just these thoughts of like, the hell is this? What the hell was that? What do I do?
Yeah.
And once it left, there was just like this silence. Like it was already silent, but it was like the silence of something having left. You know what I mean? Something's gone from the area, and you're just like, you just feel that.
Almost like a void.
Yeah, exactly. Just like solitude, wilderness, void. So he stayed in the grass for a couple minutes, not sure if like the craft left or if it was just right on the other side of the hill. because he's already like, this is already challenging his understanding of reality. So he doesn't know the rules, he doesn't know what to do. But eventually he's like, all right, I got to get out of here. So he cautiously emerged from the grass and made his way back to his motorcycle because he was eager to leave the area, So he gets on his bike, but then he hears this thud, this metallic thud. And it like echoes, it's behind him, and it just kind of stops him in his tracks. And it's sharp, it's deliberate. It's not like a car crash, but it's something. It's not like a random noise. And so he's like, that must be another traveler on this isolated road. Maybe someone else saw what I saw. In that moment, I think he's just like, I need to share this experience with someone. And if they saw what I saw, all the better, right?
Yeah, validation. He's looking for some kind of comfort, validation.
Exactly. Something. So Kevin immediately changes direction and begins moving towards the source of the metallic sound. He walks alongside the road. He's going around. He's expecting to see this motorcycle, truck, or all-terrain vehicle. And he's already thinking of, like, how do I explain this craft? Like, they maybe saw something. Maybe they didn't see the same thing I saw. Like, what am I going to say? I don't want to come off like, hey, did you see that?
Yeah.
But
nothing like a crazy guy on a motorcycle screaming about things in the sky.
Did you see the floating bean that made no noise?
Yeah. Well, you started to go, hey, so there's this object in the sky. It might have been a planet.
It might have been Venus.
Might have been a planet.
He's like, it looked more like a python to me. So as Kevin rounded the bend, expecting to find another human traveler, he instead encountered a sight that continued altering his reality. Standing approximately 20 yards away, near the roadside, as if they were waiting for his arrival, were two figures unlike anything he'd ever seen before. These beings stood roughly 5 feet in height, with bodies that appeared disproportionately thin, with these oversized heads, and their physical appearance was distinctly insectoid, with features that Kevin's mind immediately associated with grasshoppers or other large insects. Their heads were dominated by large, dark eyes that possessed unmistakably bug-like quality, while their skin appeared gray and smooth. Their faces were pointy and sharp, contributing to their distinctly non-human appearance. Both entities wore identical clothing, tight-fitted blue jumpsuits that seemed to be tailored specifically for their unusual body proportions. Their arms and legs appeared exceptionally thin in comparison to their torsos, giving them a very fragile appearance despite the intelligence that they seem to have in their posture. And so since they were not naked, I already know Charlie's going believable on this.
Doesn't make more sense that they have clothes on.
I like how he's like, wow, they tailored the clothes to fit them instead of humans. It's so disproportionate. They must have had it tailored as if they're only human clothes, even on other planets.
Yeah.
This is never going to fit.
They must have gone to a special insectoid tailor.
Right. So as Kevin stood there looking at this, the only thing he can remember from that exact moment was his own voice in his head just being like, they're grasshopper people.
Yeah, no. What else you gonna think?
They're grasshopper people.
Like, there are two choices in my head. Like, he's on a motorcycle, you can run. Or of course, I went here. He's going on a hunting trip. He has a gun.
Probably on the motorcycle.
Yeah.
Which is not with him.
Oh, he didn't. He walked.
He walked.
Stupid.
He's got a camera that he doesn't want to use.
Stupid fool.
Could throw the camera at him.
That's all. Yep.
So before Kevin could fully process the reality of what he was confronting, one of the beings took action. With movements that appeared deliberate and practiced, the entity raised one of its thin arms. It'd be funny if it just like broke off. Like, shit. Raised one of his arms and directed his hand towards something attached to his waist. And he observed what appeared to be a small device, similar in size and shape to like a flashlight. And without any warning, the device activated, emitting a brilliant beam of light that directly struck Kevin. The effect was immediate and overwhelming, and he later described as once it hit him, it felt like he was being pulled from reality in a way that transcended normal consciousness or awareness. Like, it disconnected him from his normal sensory experience and put him in a state where it just felt like a void.
It's more like I was thinking like a stun gun, but that's kind of not what happened.
No. It was just like quiet. There's nothing around me. He tried calling out, but even his mouth made no noise. It was. I mean, void is probably the easiest way to put it. It reminds me a little bit of the sunken place in Get Out.
Yeah.
Like everything's dark. It feels dreamlike. You can't really make noise.
Yeah, man. This is Kevin.
Kevin's
just fucking up.
He's going through it.
We've talked about it, like when we were going ghost hunting or whatever, right? This is one of the moments where I would have fallen to the ground and refused to get up.
Well, they'd flash you, and you don't really have a choice.
I guess that's all I could. Yeah.
They got their flashlight beams on their waist.
I'd pull my pants down.
Like Leon in Resident Evil 4, a little light right here. It's more on his chest than his. No, it was on his waist. I think it was on his waist.
I don't know.
That's how the game could allow you to have a light in front of you while his hands were on the gun.
Yeah. Last of Us 2 has the vest light.
Yeah.
So it goes
clutch.
Yep.
During this period of sensory deprivation and basically physical paralysis, Kevin experienced a sensation that he described as rocketing skywards, a feeling of rapid acceleration and movement upward despite his inability to see or feel the surroundings.
Huh.
What could have happened? His next clear memory was suddenly finding himself standing on the opposite side of North Canal Road where he had encountered the two beings. It was like literally on one moment, he was on one side of the road. He gets flashed by this light, and then like in this void where there's no concept of time.
Right.
And then boom, a second later, he's on the other side of the road.
To quote Will Smith in Men in Black, he got flashy thingied, and then he just jumped to the other side of the road.
He also said it's raining black people.
Did say that. That wasn't relevant to the quote I was saying, but yeah, he did say that.
So Kevin he's looking around. So Kevin's looking around, trying to gain his bearings. He sees his motorcycle across the road from his current position, which it immediately struck him as wrong. Like, this is wrong. Like, that is not where I parked my bike. That's like, everything's wrong. This isn't where I should be. That's not where my bike should be. We've both been relocated, but I don't remember what happened. And this is very, very strange. Like, even in the, oh my gosh, the Allagash abduction, like, it was 4 dudes that could all be like, do you remember? No, do you remember? Do you remember? Because their fire went out and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, they had each other to like, what did you experience? What did you experience? You
know,
they
actually like bounce off each other a little bit.
Yeah. Like, it's just Kevin and the moose, which he has not found yet.
No.
And they're not interested. He's like, does anyone want to hear my story? One moose is like, I do. Oh, no. Damn it.
Moose are big, actually. They're
really huge, dude.
Well, they're really big Alien fans, actually. So that's how you lure them in.
Tell me about your story.
Yeah.
The discrepancy in time made him feel disoriented, made him question what happened. The 2 grasshopper beings obviously were gone. The ship was gone. Everything was gone. The only evidence he had of lost time was that his bike was somewhere else. But anyway, so as he's trying to process this situation, he's like, I need to get out of here. I need to leave here as quickly as possible. So he like stumbled across the road towards his motorcycle, and reaching for the motorcycle, he realized like, my keys aren't there. Like, where are my keys? I had my keys in there and they're not there. So he's like looking around. He spends time looking for his keys until he realized that they were in his hand.
Oh.
But his hand was gripping the keys so intensely, it was like an involuntary grip. Like, it was like a shock response from his body, just like grip. I mean, like, I know people have had like things in their heads, in their pocket when they're looking for it. Yeah. But like, imagine like being so disoriented, you're looking for your keys and you're literally like squeezing them in your hand. Yeah,
I've never been so disoriented where I'm literally gripping something into my hand and confused where it was.
Well, as far as we know, without hypnotic regression, we also don't think you've been abducted. So
I don't know. Maybe maybe the grasshopper guys were a sign. I don't know. We'll get there, I guess.
He had no memory of removing the keys from the ignition, and he also experienced difficulty relaxing his hands to get the keys out. But either way, he got them out. He put them in. He's like, all right, we got to get out of here. The engine roared, which is like a familiar sound. It was kind of like almost like an ease, like, oh, okay, like something normal.
At least turned
on. Normal sound. And it turned on. Good point. That's a good point you had. Like, who knows where the nearest gas station is, regardless.
Yeah.
So his hands are shaking on the handlebars, but he's like, I need to go back to that trailer because he didn't go anywhere. He lost a whole day.
Yeah.
Without doing anything. Like, what a waste of a day.
His friends are like, where is Kevin?
I know. That's so Kevin. I would text him if it wasn't 87, but I can't. So So he's just like getting back to the trailer, distance himself from the location in a relatively safe space, which, like I said, wasn't even a day. He pretty much woke up, rode his bike, and lost the whole thing. So he's just focusing on the drive, trying not to think about the insectoids or the ship or anything like that. And when he got back to the trailer, he was shocked that it was like already almost dark. So even though the signs were there, the bike was moved, he was on the other side, it being almost dark compared to how long he knows it should have taken him was just proof that, like, okay, there were missing hours. Like, there's no reason for it to be almost dark with how far away I am from where I was. So it's like, you can't even like, maybe I was wrong about where I was at, you know, distance wise. Like, this was 100% confirmation to him that I lost some time.
Just because like it didn't add up. It shouldn't have been. Like, I assume he left in the morning.
Yes,
Had
early.
gone, and
Yeah,
how I don't know how long he was out for. Like an hour, 2 hours.
probably not even.
It didn't make enough where it didn't make sense where it should be dark.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, if you leave somewhere at 9, the whole trip was 3 hours.
Yeah.
So let's say he leaves at 9 and he gets back and it's dark.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Even if you like went all the way there and all the way back, it'd still be 3 p.m.
Yeah.
So something went down. So he parks a motorcycle, enters a trailer, makes some coffee to try and calm his nerves, which actually is like make you anxious. But I would probably do the same, to be honest. Like, give me some of that good, warm, liquid
Smoked
caffeine.
a cigarette, probably.
One per finger, like one in every. He went Foxy Shazam with it. Then he ate them. So he's just sitting there, sipping on his coffee, trying to think maybe I was just dehydrated. Maybe I blacked out.
Trying to logic his way out of it.
Yeah, he's trying to logic his way. He's trying to rationalize this whole situation. So as he's sitting there sipping on the coffee, his ears perk up because he hears this soft humming sound. This little humming sound that radiates from somewhere above the trailer.
You gotta be like, son of a bitch.
And he's like, no. The sound was unlike anything Kevin had experienced. It wasn't mechanical, like an engine or like natural, like wind, but something that the way that he exclaims it felt like it had purpose. Like, it wasn't just wind, but it wasn't like mechanical. It felt intelligent.
That's him putting his own spin on that, I think.
Yeah. So accompanying this humming was a subtle vibration that started affecting everything in the trailer. Like, he could feel it in the floor beneath his feet and the walls around him, and even the coffee cup just started shaking. It was gentle but persistent. It happened about for 10 minutes or so, and he just sat frozen, like terrified, just in his chair, afraid to move, afraid to do anything, like knowing that, are those two grasshopper people above me right now? Like, this fear, he went in flight. Not really. He didn't go in fright or flight. I guess it's fright. It's fight or flight, but he didn't either. He was fright. He just was like frozen.
Froze is the third phase.
The way that's when you get 8 grasshopper people involved. He was like, this is where it tapped into his primal fear.
Yeah.
Of like, this is so unnatural. I've never experienced anything like this. I don't know what to do.
Forgive me. I have a little story about this too. Alex, it's about you.
Alex, it's about me?
Yeah, Alex is telling us this over the weekend.
Okay.
That one time at University of Akron, you and Claire and him were out and it started like downpouring raining, right? And you ran under this awning to avoid the rain. And apparently what happened was a bunch of like 7 or 8 spiders started dropping down. You made that face. Yeah. And Claire and Alex ran out into the rain. But I guess what happened was you were frozen there.
Oh.
And they had to pull you out from the spiders.
Grasshopper people does to Kevin what spiders does to me.
Yeah. You froze.
Yeah.
It's like that.
Well, it's probably the fear of going through them too. I think that was downtown Akron when we were going to House of Hunan.
I don't know. I wasn't there.
I'm going to ask him when we see him. I think it's when we were going to House of Hunan in downtown Akron for lunch. I think it was raining.
Sounds right.
That's where awnings would be too, in downtown Akron.
Yes. Yeah.
Neither here nor there. Eventually, the humming and the vibrations went away, but he still was frozen there, stuck, afraid to move. You know, rather than wrestling out the windows or opening the door, he just decided to, lock everything.
Yeah.
I'm not leaving. This is the smartest thing he's probably done. He's like, nope, I'm not leaving. I'm staying in here. I'll check the locks on all the doors and the windows, but I'm not looking outside. I'm not gonna look. I'm gonna shut out the blinds, and even though in his mind he's like, locking stuff. He's like, this probably won't do anything.
Yeah,
they could come in here if they wanted to. It's like
it's nothing.
Why he's like, it's kind of like I'll do it for peace of mind, but I'm still smart enough to know that if they wanted to get in here, they're not vampires. They probably could just
break down that door or whatever.
Yeah.
It's all like in Signs, right? Like they almost get into the basement.
Yeah.
They can get in there.
If they want to, they can get in there. So now he's like, all right, I don't know how, but I'm going to try to go to sleep. I'm going to try to lay down and go to sleep, obviously, which was very difficult for him.
Coffee definitely helps.
Yeah. He was aware of every sound, even the normal ones. He's just like on edge, that like a squirrel in bed, just twitchy. He was just afraid that these things would come back. His mind raced with attempts to process like what happened. Everything was fragmented, but what was really strange is slowly, as he's laying in bed trying to fall asleep, pieces of memory began to resurface in his brain. Flashbacks to what had actually happened during the missing time while he's laying there in bed.
Okay.
And the first flashback that Kevin experienced was of entering what he described a trance-like state. And the memory was accompanied by this recollection of looking down at the landscape. Like he's way up in the air and he's looking down at the hills of Yukon, the grass, the road, clouds. Everything is just down below as he's flying above. The next flashback was his first clear memory of direct contact with the entities that abducted him. The next flashback was even more disturbing. So in this memory, this flashback is actually seeing the entities that abducted him. So in this memory, he recalled suddenly opening his eyes and being met with just absolute blackness, like just blackness over his entire vision. But it wasn't just the absence of light. It wasn't just darkness. It was like the blackness was a physical object. It was tangible. It was something in front of him. And as he's reliving this memory, the blackness began to move away from him, revealing that it was the eyes of one of his captor. One of these aliens' eyes were so close to his that it was just blackness. And that's why he could feel it.
That's awful.
Yes.
It's personal space.
Yeah, I mean, he felt violated. Like immediately, boom, I feel violated. Like that's uncomfortable. And the creature's eye withdrew to a normal distance, and he came face to face with what you would consider to be a typical gray. These were not the grasshopper people anymore. These were typical gray aliens, the large elongated head, enormous dark eyes, and the characteristic gray skin. And in that moment, Kevin heard a voice speak directly into his mind, delivering a message of reassurance. Hey, there's nothing to worry about.
Okay.
And the telepathic communication had a sense of very calm authority. Like, relax, but you're going to listen to me. And so he's starting to recover more and more memories. They're just starting to unfold after that one. And now he remembers being in this large sterile room, and the space, it wasn't like a normal earthly environment, so it's kind of hard for him to explain. But the overall impression he had was that he was in some sort of advanced technological facility. And now he can see several gray aliens moving about. And at this point, he realized that this isn't like the void, and he can actually speak. He can make sound. He can talk here. And so his first question was a very, I think, natural concern. He's like, are you guys going to conduct experiments on me? Because, again, this isn't like 60. This isn't 50. This is 87. This is almost the 90s. He's heard about the 60s.
Yeah.
He's heard about the 70s.
Travis Walton.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Hill, he knows that stuff.
Like, there's movies that came out in the 80s. So it's like, when did Alien come out? The movie Alien, it was the 80s.
That's been out already.
Yeah, so, this isn't like somebody who's like, well, what's happening? It's like, I've seen the movies. And the response he received was both reassuring and ominous. The entities informed him, again, through telepathic communication. They're like, the experiments have already been done.
What the fuck does that mean?
And that just hit him like a brick. Because at this point, like while he's retrieving new memories, it means that like there's still some that are out of reach because
Yeah.
he doesn't even remember those. Like his retrieved memory starts with the eyes being pressed up against him. So he feels violated again. He feels uncomfortable. But again, maybe it's just for the best.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just for the best. So during this time in the examination room, Kevin became aware of a strange and persistent sensation in his hands. This feeling was significant enough to distract him from other aspects of the experience. And he kept just like rubbing his hands together because he's like, it's uncomfortable. I don't like what's happening.
Yeah, your hands get itchy.
Which wasn't the keys. When I'm reading this first time, I'm like, well, yeah, you're holding your keys. This wasn't the keys.
Okay.
I don't know when the keys come into play, but this is not the keys. Just so that y'all at home aren't like, he's got the fucking motorcycle.
Yeah.
He's shoving it in there. So one of the gray aliens approached Kevin and asked through the same communication whether he would like to see Earth from the current location. And to us, listening to this and talking about it, it feels pretty obvious. But I think to him, that was kind of like another, like...
It's like a wake-up call.
I'm not on Earth. You know what I mean?
It's like
we kind of know.
Yeah.
But for him, as disoriented and strange it is, that was kind of like you're not home.
Yeah.
You're not on Earth.
Like, this is really happening.
Yeah. And so he agreed. He's like, okay. And he was led to what appeared to be a viewing window in this chamber. And the alien pointed at this little, tiny, small, bright dot. Little white dot.
Oh.
And in a very matter of fact, he's like, that bright white star is your home. So he's far. This isn't like they're just hanging out around the moon. Like, this is like when you look up at the sky and you can see like Mars or something like that. Maybe smaller. I guess I can't say.
Far.
But it's like where a planet just looks like a little white, bright.
Which also is like scarier. Like, why do they take them so far? Like, why are they like...
Well, that's probably where they are, That's where their tailor is for their suits.
Yeah. I guess that's the question for me is like, you could take them away maybe to do like the experiments they need and take them that far to go to. All right. I talked myself into why.
You don't want to carry all your equipment, you know what I mean, on the road trip.
Right.
Bring it back. That's right. So again, this is like, I'm in deep space. I'm far from home. If this is true, he had to confront with himself that he is beyond boundaries that anything in human technology at this point could do.
Do you think they just got like a little Italian tailor? Just like some dude from Italy, just, I do the measurements, I do the tailor. Like, for you, you smaller as a guy. It's just like a little, like one of my fucking relatives.
They're like, we have your home cuisine, Chef Boyardee. He's like, oh, I'm good.
It needs salt to my culture. And it's like, all right.
So following the shock of realizing that he's viewing Earth from space, he sat down and he started getting like an educational informational session about space and the star systems from one of the aliens. Like they gave him like a slideshow presentation.
It's like when I watch like NASA TikToks, I'm like, oh, very interesting. And I have no way of ever retaining it.
Aliens just abducted people and experimenting on them. And during the trauma, they're like, we're going to give you Galactic Studies 101. Let's start with Andromeda.
It's super cool, but like, you don't got your notes. You're not going to retain anything.
No, he's just like, I would really want to be on that little white thing out there. And so Kevin remembered that the gray alien showed him what appeared to be a display of numerous points of light, all appearing as white dots against a dark background. The entities provided commentary about these celestial objects, discussing star systems, cosmic geography, with an authority that suggested that they were very familiar with the distances relationship, like the way that you would describe Ohio to someone.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? There's like, you go here, you go there. That's how
Grandpa's cheese barns over there.
You don't want to go there.
Yeah.
Those Nordics look nice, but they're stuck up.
Yeah, Brecksville sucks.
However, despite the apparent importance of this information, he couldn't remember any of it. Like, he remembers that it happened, but just like you and your TikToks, it was all gone. Mm-hmm. So as Kevin's time aboard the craft continued, the entities made him an offer that probably was one of the most significant choices of his life.
They couldn't refuse?
He could refuse. They invited him to accompany them on what was described as a trip.
On the day of my daughter's wedding.
While holding a space cat.
Yeah.
I'm going to make him an offer he can't refuse. They provided no details about the destination, the duration, or the purpose. And it was, again, very matter of fact. Like, do you want to come on a trip with us? And he was like, no. No, I think I missed my motorcycle. My friends are waiting for me.
Yeah, fun fact, I was already on a trip.
And he was just absolutely terrified.
Yeah.
The entities, they accepted his decision without disappointment, or they didn't try and coax him. They were just like, all right, this. And they also said that this was a genuine offer. There was no manipulation here. Like, they just wanted him to know, like, this was for real. Like, we were really going to take you on a trip. This really,
Yeah,
there's no funny business here.
It wasn't like when we offered Parker to go on a trip and he said, no, like, you motherfucker, get on this trip.
Or like Paulie, where he's like, I got to take a leak. And then bang, So now they're like, but you didn't want to come on our trip, so we got to wipe your memory of this. The way that they said it was like, it's for your own good. Humanity's not ready for everything we just told you. And so if you're going to go back, we don't need you telling everyone our secrets. We literally told you everything about the space. But if you're just going to go back home, we're just going to take that back. Nothing ominous about that. So they were like, here's this yellow. Wait, hold on. Apparently aliens need to learn about regression therapy if they think that what they're doing works, because people are able to find this stuff out later.
That's true.
And I bet the alien that gave him Galactic 101 is pissed. He's like, I just spent 45 minutes giving you a full lecture of everything out there. Yeah. And not only did you not care, but you're not even going to remember it.
Yeah.
That's like the person who has the most pointless job at a corporate company. And they know what they do is nothing, but they're still like, it's my job.
No, I think here's what it is. As someone who used to be a teacher, and you're married to a teacher, they're used to people just totally hearing the lesson and just going right over their head. So he's used to it.
Yes. So the way that he was meant to forget this was not like Men in Black, a little flashy. They gave him a cup of a yellow liquid. And they're like, drink it up. Yeah, H2O. Like, drink this up and you'll forget everything. So, but why was he able to retrieve some of these memories? Because right now he's in his bed, or his friend's trailer's bed, trying to sleep when these memories are flooding him. So what gives? They give him diet yellow memory forgetter? No, he only took a few sips. And then he took the cup and hid it in this space. I don't know how much knickknacks and bullshit they had in there that he could hide the cup. And also, I feel like if you're in a space facility chamber and there's multiple gray aliens, I feel like it should be kind of a priority to make sure the dude drinks the drink that's going to make him forget everything about the mission.
That's
not the
really
mission,
important.
but
Yeah.
But apparently they were just so busy and he was able to hide it. But another thought I had is maybe everyone follows orders, like manipulate. Like they know of manipulation because they commented on it.
Yeah.
But maybe they don't manipulate and they don't lie and they don't deceive. So they just like, it's like natural. Like,
of course,
we asked you to take it, so you will take it. It could be that.
That's very naive. I
don't know.
I don't know. Maybe he just saw the cup station and just put it with the rest of the cup station. It's just like, it's clean.
Yeah. So Kevin's final memory from inside the craft was the effects of the partial dose of the L liquid beginning to take his consciousness. And so he got really drowsy. They gave him some of that alien NyQuil. He's like, it's chemical induced. He's like tripping a little bit. And then his next conscious memory was awaking on the roadside, the other side, where his motorcycle was.
Butt clenched, groping his keys.
Yeah, the keys back in his hand. So in the days following the encounter, Kevin began to notice physical changes that gave him some tangible evidence of this abduction. Most significantly, go back to the hands, because remember, he was uncomfortable. He's like, what's going on?
Yeah.
He discovered unusual scoop-like marks on the palms of both of his hands, marks that obviously were not there. And these marks seemed to be like, they had kind of like a geometric shape, and they were precise, and they were identical. So it wasn't like an accident.
That sounds painful.
Yes. So following his return to Ross River after the hunting trip, Kevin made the decision, I'm not going to talk about this. I'm going to keep this here. One, no one's going to believe me.
Right.
I'm going to be met with skepticism and ridicule. Mm-hmm. And I also don't want my friends and family to deal with this. Because if I say I was abducted, but I don't want to talk about it, they're going to go to my friends and family, harass them to get to me. And he's like, I'm just going to keep it down. Just shove it down there. It's like, no one needs to know this. He did. 10 years later, in 97, he did write to one of his friends, though. His friend Doug, who was on his trip with him. Like he was
Okay.
one of his fishing, hunting buddies. He wrote Doug this message, this letter, detailing everything about it, and then told Doug not to tell anyone about it.
Keep that shit unlocked, Doug.
Yeah, exactly. And his long verbal silence finally ended in 2000 when, as we're back at the top here, at a UFO conference in St. Paul, Alberta, Martin Jessic was the UFO researcher giving the speech, and then Kevin approached him and was like, I got to tell you about some shit. And Martin was like, whoa, that's quite the story. He immediately saw the significance in it, and he committed a pretty significant amount of time talking to Kevin, getting as much information, trying to piece together the timeline. And he even reached out to Doug. And so this is 3 years later, and he tracked down Doug, and Doug's like, yeah, I haven't talked to him since. Mm-hmm. He's like, but I have the letter. And when Martin asked Doug about what Kevin experienced and then compared that to what Kevin had told him, it was a complete match. And for Martin, that means that it hasn't started embellishing over time.
Yeah.
He's not changing things here and there. Like, there's consistencies in it. And in Martin's mind, he's like, this isn't somebody who just wants publicity, because he would have came forward about this as soon as it happened. Now, you could argue that if it never happened, it doesn't matter. He would have said it happened 13 years ago.
Yeah.
But unless he got Doug involved in this and he was thinking that many chess pieces ahead, where he's like, I'm going to talk to this guy, but first I have to talk to Doug, give him $50 and say, tell him I wrote this letter. Like, for him to not say anything for 13 years and then 3 years ago in 2000, so 97, to have written this letter, it's like, okay, this dude's not just trying to make a buck with this publicity story about aliens. So in terms of the marks on his hands, Martin consulted with medical professionals in an attempt to understand the nature or the origin of these scoop-like marks. Martin theorized that the sensations Kevin experienced while aboard, combined with the discovery of the keys clutched, might be related to a condition known as, I'm going to do my best here, Dupuytren's contracture, which is a medical condition which causes the fingers to lock in a bent position. Now, it says typically as a result of trauma or extreme stress. That's what the article said. I did a little research, and from what I read, it says experts don't know what causes this, and it could be genetic. I didn't read anything about stress or trauma, but that doesn't mean it's not true. I'm just saying that's...
I was going to say, he's kind of hit the markers for stress, but if that's not true...
Yeah, for sure. They're precise, geometric, bilateral, intentional. There's intentional markings.
Yeah.
And in terms of location, there's kind of two sides to the coin here. On one side, it's vast wilderness. There's no reason for him to see any spacecraft or any aircraft. Like, there's not going to be a random helicopter. Planes would be high above. It's not like a city where you're constantly getting flights or drones. Like, unless, apparently it's known Yukon and how like rural it is. It's known for high
drones in 87.
Probably not civilian.
Okay.
I don't think you can go to Best Buy and get one.
Yeah.
But also apparently Yukon is high activity spot.
Is it?
Just because it's like vast. But the other thing is that like you don't have to worry about, like when we did the Chicago story and we talk about the UFOs and we're like, no one else saw it. You really don't, like, that's kind of, you get away with that here.
Yeah.
Because no one else saw it.
Because no one's fucking there.
Go ask the Moose. They'll tell you. The big alien fans. It was, I would have called it more the Pie 10, but
I see.
There's also a book written about this, Encounters with UFOs and Extraterrestrial Life by Michael Pye and Kirsten Daly or Daly. And just being very transparent, because of the collabs we've been doing, and as of the recording of this, our live show, our BTB Live 5 is tomorrow, I didn't have a chance to read the book, which is fine given the nature of our episodes, but also just like after doing Betty Andreasen and all like the little details I was able to get, it's a little bit of a bummer. But that is Kevin's crazy Yukon abduction story.
Wow.
Let's talk about it in the discussion. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on this encounter?
It's incredible. This sounds awesome. I wish there were like witnesses or whatever, but
the Moose.
Yeah, the witnesses. I can't believe I've never heard of this before.
Probably because it's like anonymous Kevin with no last name.
I guess.
Like, there's elements to this where, if...
I wish I would have beat you to this. This is such a good story. I love this story.
Yeah, I think it's probably like Betty and Barney Hill, Travis Walton. Like they have last names. There's witnesses. This is like one guy who doesn't want his last name out there.
Yeah.
By himself, rural experience, completely alone, telling a guy about it.
Yeah, but when you look up like you have like top 5 UFO inductions, this is not on there.
No, it's not.
I think you're right though. It's probably because the anonymity.
It's anonymous.
Yeah.
Minus Kevin. My other question is, do you think there's any chance, and that would be a major coincidence, do you think there's any chance that the insectoids, grasshopper people, were not the same as the aliens that abducted him?
I think, okay. I think they're not the same entities that abducted him.
Not the same. I mean, like, of the same group.
Like, you got a covenant thing going on. Like, you've got multiple species working toward a similar goal.
Together. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I was wondering, like, what if he got caught up in something? Like, what if...
Alien Game Wars?
Well, I mean, like, what if the grasshopper people were going to kill him, but then at the last second he got, quote, saved by the Greys? You know what I mean?
No, I don't. I think it's like the Halo UFO Covenant kind of thing. Like I think they're like the ground troops. Maybe because they can breathe the air. Or
Maybe.
something, and then the Greys can't. I don't know.
Yeah, he just like the grasshopper people are here, and they just shoot them up to the Greys.
Yeah,
forever away.
That's what I imagine it is. I mean, like, obviously this is all speculation.
Well, yeah, for sure.
But have you ever heard of there's like the 10 races?
Yeah,
they're one of the races. Like,
yeah,
they all know each other. There's like, I can't remember what it's called. It's like the 10 race council.
Yeah,
and that's part of the situation.
Do an episode on that,
dude. If I could find more information, I'd be very interested in it.
The other thing I was thinking about is like, and there's no direct connection. It's just the more we do these episodes, the more I interconnect them. I wonder if the yellow substance that he drank would have been anything like the honey that Betty had to drink.
Oh, yeah.
Now, that was more about soothing and comforting, not really forgetting. But, I mean, it's like...
Or is that what they told her?
I don't know. It's crazy. Dude, he defied aliens. It's like when Antonio Villas-Boas tried to take that clock-like thing.
Yeah.
It's like to defy an alien, to only take a couple sips.
See, I think they just didn't actually care that much.
Really?
Yeah. They're like, here's this stuff. You'll forget about it. They probably did it to protect him, but they're like, if he doesn't take it,
that's on him.
Yeah.
He's going to lose all of his friends.
Yes, exactly.
So I know it's anonymous. I know to a certain degree.
Yeah.
But on our scale, believable, viable, skeptical, unbelievable, where do you put this Yukon, rural Canada story?
Some people might call me a fool, a gullible fool. I go high on this. I go believable. It's just, it really helps that there's an amazing story behind it. Honestly, It shouldn't, but it does.
I love good narrative episodes. I'm so thankful. I go viable just because it is one guy.
Yeah.
No last name.
You totally should.
But I love the story.
Yeah.
There's nothing, like, if you believe in the abduction, if you believe in the aspects of this, there's really nothing in the story that's so far-fetched. Besides, like, transmitting somebody light years away. You know, well, not light years, but you know what I mean? Far
away.
Yeah.
It's very cool.
Thank you guys so much. Remember, if you're liking the show, you can comment on Apple Podcast, a one-time comment, or a 5-star review. If you're liking the show and you're on Spotify, you can comment on every single episode there. Last week, Charlie dropped a banger on Haunted Schools Part 1.
Yeah.
And let's get I have a couple comments here.
I did shout out the guy. I named dropped the guy named Cody. I sent him the episode. I said I was referring to Cody. This is about you. It's not said anything.
Somebody commented and said, "The fuck I do with Charlie." Is that person?
I don't know who that person is, so no, it wasn't him.
Marissa says, "Haunted schools are spooky, but so exciting. I want to do a haunted tour in a school."
Same.
Head on Fire says, "Obscure was effing sick." He said effing. I'm not just, doing that. Mm-hmm. He and my best friend me and my best friend used to play this religiously. It is a fun game.
I've not heard of it.
And Caitlin says, "I'm 28 and I still have nightmares of forgetting my locker combo."
That's funny.
Well, we all have some type of work or school nightmares.
Trauma.
Yeah.
So if you're having a good time with the episodes, the main episodes, there is so much more on Patreon. Like Tyler said up top, we drop something Wednesday and Friday on top of the main episodes, almost something every day of the week.
Yeah, at least a Tuesday.
I'm exaggerating a little bit, but it's a lot of stuff.
You get 3 things a week if you count the main drops, for sure. But thank you guys so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed the story. We appreciate you. As always, I'm Tyler.
And I'm Charlie.
And catch us next week on Believing the Bizarre.
A podcast as bizarre as you are.